Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome. As people start to trickle in, we're going to play ULI Toronto's new membership video.
Having the ability to exchange stories, exchange ideas, and really sort of find mentors in the industry via ULI was a huge plus for me.
So one of the things that I first started doing with ULI in terms of active engagement was with their urban plan program. And for me, they basically go into schools and work with young people in junior high and high school.
One of the great things about ULI is that it provides a great platform for public sector and private sector interests to meet.
So it's an opportunity to connect with a variety of people from a variety of different disciplines. So I work in real estate development, but it's useful and important to get to know people in other aspects of city building.
The opportunity to get recognition, the opportunity to participate in my community and give back in a way, all of those things have enhanced my career and I think enhance what I'm able to offer the industry.
I'm really excited to be part of ULI Toronto and really advancing my leadership skills and fostering my connections and really just advancing my mission for city building.
I was a young professional, new to the province, and I found ULI and other kind of similar organizations really helpful in terms of bridging connections and networking.
It's an opportunity to connect with people who have questions, who have not quite figured out how to do things.
And I liked how hands-on you could be as a member. You could get involved immediately, you can volunteer.
For me, ULI is one of the greatest organizations in the world, and certainly in Toronto, to connect, to learn, and to become a part of an organization that really values its people and its members.
Well, that's a great case for membership with ULI Toronto. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Trevor Mcpherson. I'm the president and CEO of the Mississauga Board of Trade. On behalf of ULI Toronto, I'm so happy that you've joined us today. Today's webinar topic, Mississauga, Global Assets, Global Cluster, Making Its Mark in the Toronto-Waterloo Innovation Corridor. The modernization of Mississauga's economy is a transformational story. And it's poised to redefine the innovation landscape within the Toronto-Waterloo Innovation Corridor. Mississauga has capitalized on its global assets, talent advantage, and market forces to reshape its economy as a tech and innovation hub and become one of Canada's foremost investment destinations. Before we get started, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the people who were here before this land was settled. We acknowledge the lands which constitute the present-day city of Mississauga as being part of the treaty and traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Huron-Wendat and Wyandot nations. We recognize these peoples and their ancestors as those who inhabited these lands since time immemorial. The city of Mississauga is home to many global Indigenous peoples. As a municipality, the city of Mississauga is actively working towards reconciliation by confronting the past and present, providing space for Indigenous peoples within their territory, to recognize and uphold their treaty rights, and to support Indigenous peoples. We also formally recognize the Anishinaabe origins of our city's name, and all of us will continue in our efforts to make Mississauga a safe place for all Indigenous peoples. So just a few housekeeping notes before we begin today's webinar. Everyone will automatically be muted throughout the session to avoid audio interference. Closed captioning is available for the session. You can access it via the button along the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A function. That's the Q&A function. Don't be looking for a chat function. It's a Q&A right at the bottom of your screen in the center. So you can pose your questions and or upvote questions by pressing the thumbs up button. The session is being recorded today, and the recording will be sent to you following the session. If you'd like us to take the conversation online, or if you'd like to take the conversation online, please tag ULI with the handle @ULI-Toronto or with the hashtag #AskGreatQuestions. And there's a little bit of encouragement to think about your questions for today. Today's event and all other ULI programming would not be possible without the support of ULI's annual sponsors. I would like to thank all sponsors for their support. Now, more than ever, ULI Toronto relies on the support of sponsors to put on high quality programming and to drive their mission to shape the future of a built environment for transformative impact in communities worldwide. To all of them, we thank you. Now let's get to our webinar. We have a very tight 1 hour as we explore the City of Mississauga's integrated innovation ecosystem. First, we will hear an overview by Mayor Crombie. Then we will host a panel discussion. And finally, I will come back to field some questions from the audience. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Her Worship Mayor Bonnie Crombie. In 2014, Bonnie Crombie was elected Mayor of Mississauga, building a regionally integrated transit, igniting new economic development opportunities, and creating a more open, engaging, and inclusive city. These have been Mayor Crombie's leading policy priorities for Mississauga. Mayor Crombie worked with Council to secure full funding for the Hurontario Main Light Rail Transit, the largest infrastructure project in Mississauga's history. Welcome to the virtual stage, Mayor Crombie.
Thank you, Trevor. Can you all hear me? Can I just see the thumbs up that you can hear me? Everything's okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Perfect. I would also be remiss if I didn't just spend a moment and as we acknowledge the inhabitants here before us, before we claim this land, to acknowledge really what's happening globally. And many of us are of Eastern European descent. I'm Polish Ukrainian, and just wanted to acknowledge the unprovoked attack that is occurring on Ukrainian soil today, and how all of Mississaugans are standing in solidarity with our Ukrainian counterparts. So just wanted to acknowledge that. And please, if you can, be sure to make a donation to the Red Cross to help support Ukraine. All right, back to Mississauga, which is home to many of the Ukrainian diaspora. I will just take you through a brief overview. So welcome, excuse me, welcome. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to be joining you here today and to fill you in on some of the efforts we're making as a city to cement our position in the Toronto-Waterloo Innovation Corridor. Mississauga is in a state of transformation. We're no longer that sleepy bedroom community excuse me, of Toronto, our neighbor to the east. We are Canada's 7th largest city, and we're growing and changing into an urban world-class city capable of competing with the New Yorks and the Tokyos of the world. It's an exciting time to be an entrepreneur or an innovator here in our city. As a city, we're working to build a supportive environment for creative thinkers, leaders, and businesses looking to invest and scale up here in our city. And I'm confident that today's session will not disappoint, and I hope you will be encouraged to see Mississauga differently. And I hope it will inspire you to join our growing business and development community. I want to thank ULI for hosting and for our incredible economic development team led by our director, Bonnie Brown, for making today happen. Also, of course, big thanks to Trevor Mcpherson, CEO of the Mississauga Board of Trade, for leading our land acknowledgement. And last but not least, I want to thank our panelists, Sharif Massoud from Oxford and Chadi Al-Qadri from SOTI. I can't think of anyone better to take part in today's panel. Both Sharif and Chadi are leaders in our business community in their own right and are supporting the growth in Mississauga's innovation ecosystem. So next slide, if you can. So let's get into it. Mississauga is a major contributor to one of the top innovation centers in the world and is well positioned to compete against the top 5 major global cities. Located in the heart of the Toronto-Waterloo Innovation Corridor, we have a strong and diverse economy that has the critical assets and resources to support and nurture entrepreneurs and help scale-ups grow and to be prosperous. With a highly educated and highly diverse workforce. We are a hub for talent. Mississauga is open for business. Next slide, please. Mississauga has so much to offer. We're an ideal location for businesses looking to invest, and for more reasons than just one. We are ranked as the top city of the future by FDI magazine. Mississauga has proven to be a top location for businesses looking to start up, to scale up, and to invest. We're a home to a diverse business community with a strong and integrated supply chain that creates an accessible B2B network that is sustainable and connected. Our connectivity to global markets through the Pearson Airport, Toronto Pearson in Mississauga, we like to call it the Mississauga International Airport actually, and our close proximity to the US borders allows our businesses to create connections globally. Mississauga is an ideal location for global businesses entering the North American market who can tap into our innovation assets, supply chains, and rich pool of talent. With a vibrant downtown on the rise and a culturally rich community, people are drawn to our city as a place to live, to work, and to enjoy the many activities, events, and amenities that are found across our city. From startup to scale up to established businesses, businesses thrive in Mississauga. Next slide, please. Building a world-class transit system is key to our efforts to create greater mobility and connectivity across the GTA and beyond. It's also critical to our efforts to attract and retain business. When pitching new business, I'm constantly asked about transit and our plans to expand our system. Ease and access to transit is critical for both businesses and developers looking to invest. We need to get employees and residents to and from work with ease. We are working to make it as easy as possible for people to access Mississauga's innovation assets and employment hubs across the city, which is why we continue to invest along with our provincial and federal partners in building an integrated world-class transit system that will create greater mobility and connectivity across the region. We continue to advocate to make all-day two-way go on the Milton line a reality. Currently, the train leaves Milton and makes its way to Toronto during rush hour in the morning and comes back in the afternoon without any trains running during the day. I always like to say the train is moving in the wrong direction. As a net importer of jobs here in Mississauga, that means more people come into our city to work each day than leave for employment elsewhere. This line needs to run all day and both ways. This is the third busiest line on the GO corridor and supports 7,900 businesses and over 140,000 jobs. We need to get people into and out of Mississauga quickly and with ease. All-day two-way go is critical in our efforts to support our innovation ecosystem here in Mississauga, and it will also provide seamless travel from Kitchener and Toronto and all points in between. Okay, next slide, please. And of course, our LRT that will run from the south end of the city to the north end. Our Hurontario Light Rail scheduled for completion in the fall of 2024. The Hazel-McCallion line is an 18-kilometer Huron LRT system that will feature 19 stops, travel through 2 urban growth centers, and connect to major transit nodes in between, including GO Transit at both Port Credit and Cooksville, the Mississauga Transitway and Myway, as well as Brampton Transit and Zoom. The line will service many large employers and tech companies along the Hurontario corridor and with connections in our downtown. When complete, it will connect over 32 million people a year to Mississauga and beyond. And over the next 20 years, over a quarter of our population and employment will be located on this line. We continue to advocate to the Premier and the Minister of Transportation to add the downtown loop back into the project. I know the Premier shares our goal of seeing it built, and I look forward to continuing those discussions with him. The loop is critical for our growth and for stimulating investment, from encouraging developers to build more office space in our downtown to attracting new business to our downtown innovation district. Simply put, the LRT is critical to our future success and ensuring we remain an attractive place for businesses and startups looking to locate. Next slide, please. A great example of this is SOTI. So glad that Chadi is with us today, a global leader and provider of mobile and IoT management systems, led by Carl Rodriguez, President and CEO. When started as a home-based business in Mississauga, and it has grown into a $1 billion privately owned company, helping more than 17,000 enterprise customers worldwide. SOTI celebrated its 1,000th employee milestone in 2019 and continues to grow globally with expanded office presence in key markets that include Australia, Dubai, Japan, Sweden, and Ireland. SOTI is a proven innovator and industry leader and a true example of how Mississauga and all of its assets can help foster innovation and business growth. We are proud to have a globally minded company like SOTI to help put Mississauga on the map as a center for innovation and technology. So happy to have Chadi Al-Qadri, CEO of SOTI, here with us today to share their Mississauga innovation story of success. Next slide, please. Mississauga's Innovation District has grown to become a well-established and connected ecosystem that is cultivating clusters of innovation activity across the city. As you can see from this illustrated map, there are several areas where we're seeing a concentration of innovation assets forming. Together, the city has captured an inventory of over 135,000 innovation assets that our startup and scale-up companies can leverage, including service providers, co-working spaces, incubators, maker spaces, and public and private organizations that offer R&D and testing capabilities. Next slide, please. Meadowvale to the north is an established hub for scientific and tech innovation that is home to notable companies such as National Resilience Contract R&D and Manufacturing that is investing in a 200 million mRNA vaccine manufacturing, and HCL, an international tech company that houses co-innovation labs and accelerator space. Next slide, please. Somebody familiar to you maybe, and longtime business resident Roche, that has Technology Center of Excellence, a global network of cancer immunotherapy centers of excellence, IMCOR, National Artificial Intelligence Center of Excellence, and a $500 million investment for new global pharma technical PT operations. Next slide, please. And of course, the airport and its gateway, Mississauga's economic powerhouse, which is also Canada's second largest employment zone and a diverse hub for corporate innovation. And that includes Baylis Medical, a medical device company and innovation center. Plug and Play that has built a network of over 30,000 startups and leading edge corporations. And of course, Bombardier. Next slide, please. And our downtown. In central Mississauga, we are a fast growing hub in the city with the help of Oxford Properties Group and Alberta Investment Management Corporation's plan for the largest mixed-use downtown development in Canadian history, which is the Square One District. Next slide, you'll get a better shot at it. The overall development plan will, over time, transform 130 acres around the Square One shopping center into 18 million square foot master plan mixed-use community, mixed-use neighborhoods that will contribute to the evolution of Mississauga's downtown. Oxford 19-story, 3 million square foot office tower that will be the first of many office commercial developments in the downtown that will be the spark that ignites Mississauga's downtown to become a major business center that attracts investment and creates employment opportunities in diversity of sectors. I also welcome Sharif Massoud, VP Asset Management Retail from Oxford Properties Group. He's here with us today to talk more about the project and Oxford's vision for transforming the downtown and Square One shopping center. This development, along with the recent expansion of Sheridan College and other major landowners' developments, will contribute to the transformation of downtown Mississauga into a true urban center and lifestyle destination where people connect, work, and grow. Next slide, please. The University of Mississauga campus, affectionately known as UTM, has grown to become the second largest division of the University of Toronto, Canada's largest university. UTM now includes more than 15,200 undergraduate students and 900 graduate students. Next slide, please. UTM's campus includes the Center for Medicinal Chemistry, an interdisciplinary center for the development of new drugs targeting cancer and other diseases, and IQ, a center that supports social entrepreneurship and early stage startups. Next slide, please. To the south, we have smaller pockets of innovation found in our Sheridan Research Park, Canada's first campus-style research park driven by industry, devoted to research and product development, and a hub for STEM, with an emphasis in advanced materials, life sciences, and ICT technology. Next slide, please. The research park is home to the National Research Council of Mississauga and the Xerox Research Centre of Canada. Next slide, please. To the south, the Lakeview Innovation District is another emerging innovation cluster that will transform part of our waterfront into a key anchor innovation asset embedded in a mixed-use waterfront development that will be the envy of the world. Next slide, so you can get a better look at it. The City of Mississauga and the Lakeview community partners are leading the path forward to develop a 20-acre hub for innovation and research, providing educational and office space that will be integrated with the Lakeview Village, the adjacent 177-acre mixed-use community. Doesn't it look spectacular? Next slide, please. The Lakeview Innovation District will become a world-renowned center for multi-sector innovation and new business, connecting industry and employment to local and regional transit, green space, residential, a thriving retail square, and a multicultural hub. The plans will strategically integrate a variety of employment uses, including technology and industries, and institutional office space that can accommodate more than 9,000 employment opportunities. Next slide, please. As we further establish Mississauga's Innovation District, it has become clear that we need to elevate our presence on the global innovation platform. In order to do this, we needed to create a name for ourselves that will position Mississauga as a global leader of innovation, create a sense of place for startup, scale up across the region to gather, attract globally minded businesses, and celebrate Mississauga's innovation success stories. And Mississauga's Innovation District is a place for, next slide, please, a place for innovators. Next slide, please. Where ideas become reality. Next slide, please. Where the future is being invented. Next slide, please. It is IDEA. With the support from Council and collaboration with our Entrepreneurship and Innovation Advisory Board and partners, IDEA, the Innovation District of Mississauga, was created. It all starts with IDEA, the Mississauga Innovation District, located within one of the world's fastest growing major city economies. IDEA Mississauga has the mentorship, partners, talent, and connections to test and scale and commercialize solutions to global challenges. Get it done in IDEA, Mississauga's Innovation District. ID represents Innovation District and the play on the word idea, as every great innovation and business starts with an idea. Next slide, please. IDEA Mississauga is more than an innovation district. It is a community that brings together all innovative connections and assets, from government to entrepreneurs to industry, that is spread across all of Mississauga. And I think we have a video about to be shown, or we have seen it. One of the ways we will be launching IDEA is through a promotional video featuring inspiring Mississauga innovation business stories, from startup to scale up to big business, and how they achieved success using Mississauga resources and location assets. The video and overall marketing campaign will generate brand awareness and inspire new and scale-up businesses and develop a sense of pride and awareness of our existing innovation ecosystem and highlight homegrown successes. So if we can, please play the video.
Mississauga represents an ideal location for where you'd like to grow and expand your entire company. SOTI is a proven example of that. Today, we have over 17,000 enterprise customers around the world, and we've been recognized as one of the fastest growing technology companies in North America. We strive to get the best talent from all over the world to come in. As SOTI has grown, we continue to have more and more new innovative ideas. And this is where the SOTI One platform comes in and helps enterprises scale to the next level.
So Ecosystem Informatics, we are an air quality monitoring and management solution. The city of Mississauga is a great place to have a business. Access to resources is important, and being part of the Mississauga community as a startup has helped. Ideas come from anywhere. It's creating the proper environment for that idea, for that seed to actually grow into something that can make an impact.
At Baylis Medical, our mission is to improve the lives of patients around the world. We're very proud to call Mississauga our home. Some of the key advantages we see here is a very diversified workforce. Mississauga is really central to many of the large academic institutes, and they all generate world-class talent. That has been very instrumental in us growing to where we are and where we see our future growing in this region. Central element of innovation is really the people that make it happen. So having ideas that we can bring in from around the world has been helpful in us accelerating our path of launching innovative medical devices.
All right, wasn't that inspiring? Okay, next slide, please. The new IDEA Virtual Hub was created to better connect our entrepreneurs and scale-ups to innovation service providers and assets they will need to support their business growth. This new site includes an interactive concierge tool, a client access service tool that includes regional services, programs, and resources that supports entrepreneurs. Through a series of prompted questions, the concierge tool will generate a customized list of resources that is catered to unique business needs, and an interactive asset map, an interactive map that allow users to find innovation assets and get information on the services they offer to entrepreneurs and scale-ups. This map covers over 135 innovation assets across Mississauga. The Virtual Innovation Hub is a central place for businesses to make B2B connections and get the latest innovation news, event, programs, resources, and share their business success stories. Next slide, please. As we build out our innovation district, we can begin to brand clusters of activity under IDEA. Through a partnership with Oxford Realty Properties, the city announced its first innovation anchor location, IDEA Square One, located in Square One Shopping Mall. Next slide, please. You get to see some of the renderings. Scheduled to open later this year, this 4,300 square foot space will be the new home for the Mississauga Business Enterprise Center to continue delivering programming to support new and growing Mississauga businesses. IDEA Square One will be a place for entrepreneurs and innovators to connect, learn, and grow their ventures in the heart of Mississauga. With an open and inclusive atmosphere driven by collaborative activities, our community will have access to current and expanded programming and local innovative partners and mentors, bookable office and meeting rooms in an open co-working space. This is an exciting step for our city as we begin to commit to investing in IDEA, Mississauga's innovation district. By having these facilities accessible to our community, we not only attract creative thinkers and leading edge businesses that help our economy grow, we are also building Mississauga's reputation as a global innovation leader. Mississauga is the place to be for innovation. Last slide, please. Thank you very much. I want to congratulate our EDO, Bonnie Brown, and her team on the successful launch of the IDEA campaign. Frankly, it's nothing short of fantastic and positions Mississauga and our innovative business community as North American leaders. Our future is bright right here in Mississauga, and I can't wait to welcome even more innovators and change makers to our city. Remember, it all starts with an idea. So once again, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak with you, and I look forward to engaging in the panel.
Thank you very much, Mayor Crombie. Can everyone see me? Yes, hello. Mayor Crombie, thank you so much for that insightful presentation and for your leadership on the innovation agenda in Mississauga. Yesterday's launch was a big milestone for us, and I'm so pleased that we have a champion leading this, and that's Mayor Crombie. So it's exciting times for us. And you know, there's no better way to learn directly from our industry panelists that have joined us today about Mississauga's innovation cluster and developments that are happening in our city. So the bios are going to be in the chat function, but Mayor Crombie certainly did a nice job in acknowledging both Chadi and Sharif. So I'm going to go back and forth a bit between Sharif and Chadi and asking you some questions about your experience in your portfolios that you lead. And Sharif Masood, who is VP of Asset Management for Retail Oxford Properties, is responsible for seeing the overall national real estate retail asset management group. Part of that includes Square One, and Oxford is a significant landholder within our downtown. So Sharif, can you share with us, you know, part of Oxford's exciting plans for the Square One districts, just in a little bit more detail? There was great visuals that Mayor Crombie shared, but we'd love to hear about how Oxford is going to play an important role in achieving the vision to transform our downtown.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me this afternoon, Bonnie, and excited to participate in this panel. So there's a lot of exciting things going on with Oxford Properties and Square One in the downtown Mississauga. There's probably maybe two messages I'd hit on. One would be around the retail piece, and then the second would be around just looking forward in the future. So from the retail perspective, you know, Oxford's been invested in Mississauga for over 20 years. We have a $10 billion portfolio in the Greater Toronto Area, and we're super excited about what's to come for the 130 acres of land that we own in downtown Mississauga. In the last 10 years, we've invested close to $700 million in resetting and improving the shopping center that many know as Square One, and really setting it up to cater to a diverse group of customers. And over that time period, what we've done is we've actually improved the offering, the merchandising mix, and now 20% of the space that's not your anchors is dedicated towards food and beverage, entertainment, and alternative uses like education, medical, and I think you guys just saw in Bonnie's presentation, the IDEA Innovation Center from the city of Mississauga. So we're super excited about what we've accomplished, but even more excited for what's to come. And I know Bonnie hit a little bit on some of these points. So the Square One district, we're hoping to build out close to 18 million square feet of development going forward. And that's 18,000 residential units, 3 million square feet of office. And that's to go along with a really strong 2.5 million square feet of retail that we have in place today. And it's nice to talk about master plans and fancy renderings that Bonnie showed, but I think what's even more exciting is that as of today, we have over $2.5 billion of projects that are either under construction or are in the advanced stages of planning. And so I think that speaks to our conviction in the downtown, in Mississauga, and some of the exciting things that are going around the city that I know Chadi and others will touch on. And so, and within the next 10 years, specifically, we're going to deliver 7,500 residential units, of which half is going to be purpose-built rental. And so we're big believers in the downtown. I think if you ask why, other than having an amazing retail offering, which really does bring people together, we think that there's many ingredients to successfully, continuing on building on what's present today. So if you look at transportation, and again, Bonnie touched on a lot of this, some of that was what's to come, but we actually have a great transportation network today downtown, the second busiest GO bus terminal. The city of Mississauga is my way, and lots of connection points through highway infrastructure, the proximity to the airport, the education partners that are directly at our doorstep through Sheridan College, and most recently, Trios College is opening a campus at Square One, close to UTM. And so when you add these ingredients of having transportation, having education, having a strong retail offering, and then obviously a very, very well built out residential community, I don't know if we could be any more bullish on another city in the GTA and obviously in Canada. So maybe I'll stop there, Bonnie.
That's fantastic, Sharif. And wow, what confidence in the market. We certainly appreciate Oxford's leadership, and particularly in our downtown. So, you mentioned a lot of these critical ingredients that go into building dynamic places. And part of our discussion today is focused on our Mississauga's location as part of within the Toronto-Waterloo corridor. So I'd like to shift over to Chadi, because in his role as Chief Innovation Officer at SOTI, you have the opportunity of seeing many innovation clusters around the world. SOTI is a global player, and SOTI, I'm interested in your thoughts about what attributes, what do you think are the key attributes that build a successful innovation cluster?
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Mayor Crombie, and the rest of the team. It's an opportunity to be here to talk to this amazing group of folks that are working so hard to build one of Canada's most vibrant, honestly, and I mean it, vibrant communities. It's very simple. I mean, it's all about the human element, right? You cannot innovate on empty, and innovation starts with ideas, and ideas come from people. It takes a fair bit of defining the folks that can actually bring ideas and bring them to life. The key here is to really have the right environment to attract people that are well educated and in certain their fields and well versed in their fields and are skilled, and to put a community where those folks can come together, congregate, attract ideas and put them in a session in such a form that can be implemented. Innovation is a combination of people and the government and the community around, and it's very obvious that Mississauga has been a great place for whole many innovations in the past, as was shown in the presentation of Mayor Crombie. SOTI is one of them. SOTI is the fastest growing and arguably the largest pure Canadian software company at this point. We are a global company. I know Mayor Crombie mentioned that we celebrated our 1,000th person. We celebrate our people because we know that is the assembly line for great technology and great solutions are people's brains. And so the more smart, intelligent people we're able to bring together into SOTI, the more we're able to compete and serve our customers and continue to be a leader in our space. What's interesting is Mississauga, and this is an interesting little fact. Mississauga is the largest STEM community in Canada is in Mississauga, and that's very simple. I mean, we offer in the city a safe and welcoming place for a lot of newcomers to Canada who are highly educated in the STEM field to come and live and call this place home and thrive and raise their kids and send them to school and have community functions and kind of bring the diversity and bring their the cultural diversity and the flavor of their culture into it. And that serves us really well because we're able to actually grow based on hiring those folks into SOTI. We have a great hiring pool in Mississauga that helps us to continue to grow and innovate and build better solutions. Again, we did celebrate our 1,000th person possibly about 3 years ago, pre-COVID, but we're close to 1,600 people right now around the world. 1,600 people, that's a good amount of growth in the last 3 years, considering what the world has been going through. And I have to say, a lot of that is attributed to the great folks that we have working with us in Mississauga at our global HQ to attract and hire and train and keep and retain and excite and innovate new people, right? So this is really what it takes. It takes a collaborative effort. It takes just the right atmosphere. And by the way, I do live in Waterloo. So to me, innovation is nothing that, that I see what it takes to actually build an innovative community. To be frank with you, we have a lot more favorable factors to grow in Mississauga, and I continue to kind of praise our growth in Mississauga, largely based on the community and the collaboration that we have in Mississauga.
Wonderful. Well, that's exciting, Chadi. Wow, 1,600 employees that you've grown to globally. Our economic development strategy was approved in 2019 and sets out 3 priorities, and that is to support globally minded businesses, develop distinctive places, and ensure durable infrastructure. Well, I can't think of a better example of supporting globally minded businesses like our homegrown SOTI. So it's really been fascinating just to watch your growth over the years. And speaking of the priority of distinctive places, that's where I want to go back to our downtown. Our downtown is identified as one of those major urban growth centers that we're focusing on to, and secure more office investment, as well as we're excited about our innovation hub, which is going into Square One. So, Sharif, you have, I know, extensive experience as well with Oxford's, involvement in other previous innovation assets, and I'm hoping that you can just provide a bit more details of, what built form is required to spur and attract innovation and investment?
Yeah, it's a great question, Bonnie. I think there's, like Chadi touched on a few of it, right? As a developer, what we can bring to the table is the physical infrastructure, and then we try our best to activate it. So Square One is a great example of having invested in retail, and we try our best to connect with the communities. We put on multicultural events. We have, we'll do things like an Eid market or a Ramadan market or a Diwali market. So the landlords and the real estate owners can find ways to connect with our community and our customers, and we're for sure doing that. And I think what's super exciting is the idea, the innovation hub that your group is leading and is physically putting into Square One. But the most important part of that is the connection piece, in that you're across the street from Sheridan's Edge program, UTM's IQ program is not far away, and I think your group is going to find a way to act as a connector between the early stage entrepreneurs and connecting them with the more well-established businesses in Mississauga and throughout, and as well as access to capital. So those are things that that we're excited about. I think Oxford specifically, when we think about innovation, I'd highlight one example is our partnership with the city of Mississauga in trying to bring the first office building to the downtown core in 30 years. And there's a reason why developers haven't built new office product in Mississauga, and it really comes down to the cost of building is pretty consistent whether you're downtown or in the suburbs, but the rental model, tenants' ability to pay rent is different in Mississauga than it may be elsewhere. And so I think our development group approached the city of Mississauga, and collaboratively we shared our open books with you, and we said, here's our pain points in trying to activate a development. And I think what was really innovative is what came out of that were 2 solutions, right? One was around a shared parking model. So recognizing that this is a downtown environment, and we don't need, today we have over 9,000 parking stalls. There's got to be a way that an office user and a retail user and a residential user, that it complements one another. And so can we share the parking? And together the city was very innovative in putting forward and passing through a shared parking bylaw that will help us spur office development. The other one would be around a tax incentive program that I know, Pani, you personally and others in the city were instrumental in helping push through. But it's having the foresight to see that if you can give a little bit of incentives for developers to have that catalyst, that first new building to go up, we know that more will come. And so we're super excited. And I guess maybe the last point I'd leave you with is on the life sciences. A few years ago, Oxford was not invested in the life sciences space from a real estate perspective. Fast forward to today, we have a $2.5 billion portfolio, 3 million square feet of life science assets, including assets in what we refer to as Pill Hill in Meadowvale, North Mississauga. So we think there's an opportunity to bring some of that innovation and that asset class also to the downtown core.
Wow, that's super exciting. This truly is an exciting time for Mississauga, and I just want to acknowledge, the leadership of mayor and council for, considering those incentives to spur office development, as well as my planning colleagues. Economic development is now part of the planning and building department, and it really makes sense because it's all about creating these great places and spaces, and with all of these important assets that you mentioned, Sharif. So that was excellent. And thank you. So going back to you, Chadi, what attributes do you believe that Mississauga has to attract that talent to live and work in Mississauga, particularly these days when, there's a lot of remote working. And so I think it's going to put even more importance on building these great places and spaces. So if you could just speak to, what are the critical assets that you believe in attracting that talent? And I know you work with a lot of post-secondary institutions as well.
And yes, we do. And Mississauga has a very unique combination of assets that we need. And if we kind of go through them, I mentioned the community before. Obviously, the diversity that Mississauga has is not just unique to the corridor, if we were to call it the corridor, but frankly speaking, it's unique to Canada. I have family from all over Canada, from Maritimes all the way to the western side of Canada. And I do not see the type of diversity represented as it is in the Mississauga region. That diversity gives folks the comfort of saying, you know what, I fit here. This is a place where I can be myself, where I can bring the best of what I know and what my background is. And that's what makes this place, I guess, very attractive to a lot of newcomers who are STEM educated and can come in and start contributing pretty much month one, not just year one, month one, right? They come in, they hit the ground running. But if you look at the other aspect, that aside from the cultural makeup of Mississauga, there's definitely the education and the universities and the colleges and the training centers and the reskilling facilities that we have in the city. That makes for a lot of attracts for a lot of people that are of that caliber of skills and education to come in and help contribute, regardless. And we're just not taking it, let's not just talk about innovation in the high tech, which is the sector that I come from. There's a lot of health sciences work. There's a lot of aeronautics. There's a lot of aerospace. There's a lot of we're seeing mechanical and services as well. And so, aside from the cultural acceptance and diverse makeup of Mississauga, there's the education piece, which is very important. On top of this, folks that come in of that type of skills are always keen on also making sure that the next generation, their children are actually have access to schooling systems and universities and colleges and training centers, so they themselves can also get proper skills and be competitive in life. And the city has a lot of offer in terms of how the education sector is growing and has grown thanks to the efforts of the province and the city in the last 10 years. So aside from the cultural makeup, aside from the welcomeness, aside from the education, aside from the transportation, which we heard a lot about today, and people love to have proper public transportation, reliable and environmentally friendly transportation. aside from the streets, aside from the facilities, in terms of having access to parking spaces and office spaces and incubation space for new ideas. And also we can talk about a lot of new incubation centers that are popping up all around the city, including investments from the city, from the province, and the federal government. All that, if you put it together, right, it really attracts the right brains. And when you have those skills and those brains come together, good things happen. Great ideas come to life, and they have people around them that can actually build them and grow them and spin them into even more innovations in the future as well.
That's fantastic. Boy, as you can see, this subject, there's a lot of layers to it, and all sorts of important assets that we have to keep nurturing, particularly in these times where we're coming out of the pandemic, and we're excited about what the opportunities are going forward. And our innovation hub will play a really important role in helping to advance these great entrepreneurs, and hopefully we can support them and keep them within our city, our region, and in Canada. It's really is so important, and the city is taking that leadership role in being that connector and facilitator to to all of those assets. And that's the importance of ideamississauga.ca. So I encourage everyone here on this call to make sure you start following our channels, because ideamississauga.ca is where we are going to virtually connect for everyone from industry leaders and startups and scale ups and all of the service providers, because they're here in our city. It's just, that's the important role that the city of Mississauga is taking as far as connecting all of these great assets within our region. So I think at this time we should allow for some questions. And so I'm going to turn it back to Trevor Mcpherson.
Thank you very much, Bonnie. And I'd like to thank you and Mayor Crombie for setting the stage. Mayor Crombie particularly for setting the stage, and yourself, Sharif and Shadi, for an engaging discussion. It is a tight timeline to really get into all of the details, but I hope that everyone is getting a sense of really what the opportunity is for the city of Mississauga. So I'd like to thank everyone who submitted questions, and let's get started with addressing a couple of them. The first one, I'm not sure who would like to take this. Bonnie, maybe you can direct one of your panelists or yourself to answer this. How Mississauga, just thinking about the innovation corridor, and how does Mississauga exactly fit into that corridor? What does that mean?
Well, that's a great question, and thank you so much, because Mississauga really is in the heart of that Toronto-Waterloo corridor. If you think about the 401 from downtown Toronto heading to Waterloo, you pass right through Mississauga, and we are a significant business contributor with the number of companies. Mississauga has a strength in enterprise software solutions for businesses. And so I think that our business community, being so diverse, does play an important role. But I'd also like to give Chadi the opportunity, because, with Mississauga's SOTI location, head office located in Mississauga, and he lives in Waterloo, and has there's a hub there as well. Chadi, could you provide your insights into what is Mississauga's role within the innovation corridor?
Yeah, as a KW resident, I'll try very hard not to be biased, but I will be fair here. This is interesting, because not everybody really lives the downtown lifestyle, and not everybody lives the, let's call it the outside of a big city KW lifestyle, right? There's a balance in between the spread of the KW being, out in, let's call it, countryside. I'm going to get in trouble, I'm sure, for saying that. And then the hustle and bustle of living downtown core, there is a space in between. And that space is where a lot of the majority of the folks, if you look at the bell curve, the majority of the folks would fall into that. And these are the people that value the big city life and services and amenities that it offers, the diversity that it offers, as well as the extra backyard space, right? And again, not taking a shot at downtown Toronto in any way. I mean, I love those condos. But if you kind of look at it, right, if you have a family, and COVID had visualized this very, very well, right? A lot of families said, why am I living in a 700 or 600 square foot space with 2 children? Might as well give them some backyard space. And they left the downtown core. So, to say that Mississauga is the replacement for downtown or for KW, I believe that is an inaccurate statement. But to say that the majority of the folks would love that balance between living in a bit of, like I said, bit of a backyard space, plus being in a big city with all the amenities, Mississauga plays into it. I started by saying innovation builds through the human factor or the human element. And if you don't have folks, you're not going to have innovation, period, right? You can have the best facilities in the world. You can have the most amount of investment and money and education and all that. But if you don't have and services, but if you don't have the human being to innovate, you're not going to have innovation. So to really get to that, we need to kind of look at Mississauga as the place that balances all these points and the place that attracts the highest rate of STEM educated and newcomers in Canada, people that are highly ambitious, that are hardworking with amazing skills that are coming to the city. And if you ask me, where can we have access to better talent or easily access talent? I'd say it's not downtown core and it's not KW. It is Mississauga, and that's why we're thriving there.
Bonnie, maybe I would just add to that. I think one of the storylines about Mississauga's growth has always been, that's where companies go to establish themselves and grow. So for many Fortune 500 companies, you'll find in Mississauga. But if you asked yourself, where do companies start off, like early stage, you often found that in, I would say, urban environments and bias towards downtown Toronto. But some of the pieces that have been put in place over the years, and you point to what you just launched at Square One, and you point to Sheridan College and UTM's iCube, like that, what that does is it gives the next generation of talent that is starting up these companies, it gives them an opportunity to start them in our backyard, in Mississauga's backyard. And if you couple that with the vibrancy and the things that people generally tend to look for in a downtown environment, whether it's a nightlife or the restaurants or the retail offering or the even green space, I think Mississauga it has a lot to offer. And so that's maybe I'll stop there.
Thank you both for adding such great context to what it means to be part of the innovation corridor. The next question really is about, I think, the ingredients to that secret sauce that we want in Mississauga to attract new investment and innovation oriented investment. So the question is, could you expand more on what cities can do to make themselves more attractive to business settlement? So far, I am hearing, and this is from the questioner, so far the questioner is hearing that education, transit, diversity, all important. How important, for example, is environment and the state of governance in a city? I could add tax competitiveness and some of these other things, but please weigh in on this one.
Guess I should be the one to kick that off. So from a governance viewpoint, I think it's safe to say that we have very stable government in Mississauga. Of course, we've only had 4 mayors. One of them was present for 36 years. I'm in my 2nd term and will put my name forward for a 3rd, hopefully, fingers crossed. Thank you. What was the second part of that question? Oh, on the tax competitiveness. So, we do what we can to continue to invest in our city, but to provide good value for taxpayers' money. But you have to understand that we need to take a certain increase each year so we can invest in transit and we can invest in our community centers and we can keep them up to date and modern and invest in our downtown infrastructure. So we do increase at about the rate of inflation. I think that's very fair. But when you compare our taxes right across the GTA, you you will see that we are in the lower 50% of tax increases. Of course, Toronto's tax increases are always the lowest, but you have to keep in mind that they have other taxation ability that none of the other municipalities have. So of course they have the ability to generate additional revenue and cross-subsidize their tax revenue. Hope that helps.
Great, thank you very much, Mayor. If anyone else would like to quickly weigh in, I think we're at time. No? With that, that's all the time we do have for today. And so on behalf of ULI Toronto, I want to thank all of our panelists and Mayor Crombie for joining us today. And very quickly, I encourage you to check out ULI's upcoming programs. They have some very exciting events lined up. You can register for any of them by following the link in the chat. We look forward to having you on a future webinar. And once again, thanks for all the sponsors for today's webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.